I returned home after serving in the Army, but instead of warm embraces and gratitude for my service, I was met with something entirely different. All my friends had said I would be a hero, that I would come home and everything would be wonderful. But those were just empty words. Beautiful promises shattered by harsh reality. On the first day of my return, I learned that my girlfriend had betrayed me. This happened while I was on the front lines risking my life. She found someone else and couldn't wait. The pain from this revelation was as sharp as the physical wounds I brought with me. I felt betrayed and broken. My body was covered in scars, but the deepest wounds were on my soul. The war had taken not only my time, but also my peace. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the faces of comrades who were no longer here. Every loud noise would send my mind back to the battlefield. Instead of receiving help, I felt even more isolated. Friends I had before the war no longer understood me. They couldn't grasp what was happening in my head and started to distance themselves. I felt trapped in darkness with no way out. My family tried to support me, but they didn't understand either. My mother cried seeing me like this, but her tears only added to my pain. I felt like a burden to everyone. My physical injuries could be treated, but the psychological scars remained with me constantly. After several months of unsuccessful attempts to return to normal life, I decided to turn to a veterans support group. I needed help, but didn't know where to find it. This group became my last hope, the only ray of light in my dark world. At first, it was hard to open up to other veterans. I didn't want to appear weak or admit that I was struggling. But gradually, I began to realize that they were just like me. Each of us had gone through our own trials and had our own demons. We were all part of one great tragedy. One day at a group meeting, I met Jack, a veteran who had also returned from the war and was dealing with similar issues. We quickly found common ground and became support for each other. Jack taught me how to cope with flashbacks and how not to let fear control my life. Gradually, I started to find meaning in small things. Walks in nature, spending time with animals, even a simple cup of coffee in the morning became important rituals that helped me hold on. I began to believe that I could find my place in this world. But the pain and betrayal did not let go of me so easily. I realized that my new enemy was myself. My own consciousness had become my tormentor, reminding me of all my failures and losses. The battle with myself proved to be the hardest fight of my life. My girlfriend, once my beloved, became a symbol of all my losses. Her betrayal was a heavy blow, but it also pushed me to reflect on my own mistakes. Perhaps I was also to blame for our relationship not surviving the trials of war. I began working on myself, seeking ways to heal my soul. Psychotherapy, meditation, even art became means of expressing pain and healing. I realized that I couldn't forget what had happened, but I could learn to live with it. Despite all the difficulties, I decided not to let my past ruin my future. I started working as a volunteer in the Veterans Support Group, helping others find their path to healing. This work became a source of inspiration and meaning for me. One day, when I thought I had hit rock bottom, I met Maria. She was also a volunteer and had gone through her own difficulties. Her kindness and understanding helped me see the light at the end of the tunnel. We began spending a lot of time together, supporting each other. With Maria, I started to feel that life could be beautiful, despite all the trials. We made plans for the future, dreamed of traveling and a happy life. She became my guardian angel, the person who helped me find myself again. But the path to healing was long and difficult. I continued to struggle with flashbacks and depression, but now I had support. I knew I wasn't alone, and that gave me the strength to keep going. Every day, I thanked fate for giving me a second chance at life. I learned to appreciate every moment, every smile, and every kind word. The war left its mark on me, but it also taught me to be strong. My journey to healing is not yet over, but now I know that I am capable of overcoming any difficulties. I am no longer afraid of the future because I have support, love, and faith in myself. And here I am, sharing my story with you, hoping that it will help someone find their strength and faith. We all have our battles, but together we can overcome any difficulties. After the betrayal of my girlfriend and all the hardships I had endured, I began working on my healing. Every day was a challenge, but I decided not to give up. The Veterans Support Group became a reliable refuge for me, a place where I could be myself and share my pain. My new friends, like Jack, understood me without words. Their support helped me move forward. One day, after another group meeting, I received a call from Maria. She suggested meeting for coffee. I agreed, even though inside me, there was still a fear of trusting someone. Maria greeted me with a warm smile, and we spent a few hours talking about life. She shared her own losses and struggles, and I felt that we had a lot in common. Our meetings became regular, and gradually I began to trust Maria more. She was not only a friend, but also a reliable support. Together, we discovered new ways to cope with stress and trauma. Meditation, nature walks, creativity, these things help both of us find inner peace. One day, Maria invited me to join her in volunteering at the Veterans Support Center. She was an active volunteer and helped organize various events for veterans and their families. I agreed, hoping it would help me find a new sense of purpose in life. Working with veterans became a real lifeline for me. I felt that I could be useful and help others find their way to healing. During one of our meetings, Maria told me about her friend Peter, who was also a veteran and going through tough times. She suggested inviting him to our support group. I agreed, understanding that each new participant could bring something important. Peter turned out to be a wonderful person, and we quickly connected. Over time, our support group grew. We spent time together, shared our stories, and helped each other. I felt that I was becoming part of a big family that supported me in tough moments. Each of us had our own problems, but together we were stronger. However, despite the support of friends, my inner demons did not give me peace. Flashbacks and nightmares continued to torment me, reminding me of what I had been through. One day, I realized that I needed more help and decided to seek a professional therapist. It was a tough decision, but I knew it was necessary. During my first session with the therapist, I felt vulnerable and uncertain, but gradually, I began to open up and share my fears and pain. Therapy helped me understand that I was not to blame for what had happened, and that I had the right to heal. Each session became a step towards my recovery. After several months of therapy, I began to feel changes. My thinking became more positive, and memories of the war were no longer as painful. I learned to control my emotions and not let fear dictate my life. My heart was slowly healing, and I felt that I could breathe again. Thanks to Maria and my new friends, I found the strength to continue living. We participated together in various events, helping veterans and their families. Each day brought new challenges, but now I knew I could handle them. I felt that I had finally found my place in the world. One day, Maria and I decided to organize a large gathering for veterans and their families. It was an opportunity to bring everyone together, exchange experiences, and make new friends. The event was successful, and I saw how many people needed support and understanding. It inspired me to continue working as a volunteer and helping others. Gradually, my life began to take on new colors. I no longer felt isolated and alienated. Thanks to the support of friends and volunteer work, I found meaning and purpose. My heart was filled with gratitude for each new day, and I began to believe that the future could be bright. But even in moments of joy, I remembered my comrades who were no longer with us. Their faces always stayed with me, reminding me of what we fought for. I decided that their memory would live on in my actions and in helping others. They inspired me to be better and to make the world a better place. With Maria, we continued to support each other and build our plans together. She became an important part of my life, and I felt I could trust her with all my heart. Together, we faced challenges and celebrated small victories. Her support was invaluable to me. My work as a volunteer became not only a way to help others, but also a means of self-healing. Every time I saw other veterans finding their way to recovery, I felt that my efforts were not in vain. It was important to me, and I knew I would continue working in this direction. One day, when I thought I had found my path, a new participant joined us, Sarah. She was a young widow whose husband had died in the war. Her pain was evident, and I felt I had to help her. We became friends, and I saw how important it was to be there for those who are grieving. Together with Sarah, Maria, and Jack, we created a real support team. Each of us had our own pains and traumas, but together, we were stronger. We helped each other find joy in small things and build new lives. It wasn't easy, but we knew we had to keep fighting. My life changed thanks to the support of friends and volunteer work. I found new meaning and purpose, and now I know that I can overcome any difficulties. Each day was a step toward healing, and I was grateful for every moment I had the chance to live. Thanks to the support of friends and new acquaintances, I felt that I was no longer alone. I found my path to healing and was ready to help others find theirs. Each of us has our own battles, but together we are capable of overcoming any challenges. Part 3. The rising tension. Despite our efforts, my mental health remained unstable. The nightmarish visions I had tried to leave behind began to resurface. My stress and anxiety often erupted onto those closest to me, and I increasingly felt that I might fall back into the same darkness I was trying so hard to escape. One evening, after a particularly tough day, I came home feeling like I couldn't handle it any longer. The memories of war haunted me every time I closed my eyes. I felt my heart pounding in my chest, and it seemed as if I was under attack once again. Knowing that I couldn't succumb to depression again, I reached out to Maria, who had been my support throughout this time. We met at a cafe, and I shared my fears and anxieties with her. She listened intently, and her words were like balm for my soul. "Tom, you've been through so much already. I believe in you. We're all here to help," she said, holding my hand. My mental state was so critical that I began to fear for my future. I understood that if I didn't get a handle on myself, I might return to what I had worked so hard to leave behind. My therapist, who was aware of my issues, suggested a new approach to therapy to help me cope with the crisis. During therapy, we worked on new stress and anxiety management techniques. I learned how to handle panic attacks and how to use positive thoughts to support my mental health. It was a challenging process, but I felt it was working. Each day I tried to be better and resist old temptations. At one of our support group meetings, we discussed how we could help other veterans going through similar difficulties. Jack suggested creating a charitable organization to provide support to veterans and their families. It was ambitious, but I saw how the idea inspired everyone present. We began planning how to implement this initiative. Each of us contributed our ideas and suggestions. I participated in all meetings and actively worked on organizational matters. It gave me a sense of purpose and helped me stay afloat during this tough time. Over time, my crisis began to recede. I felt I was finding myself again, thanks to the support of my new friends and the support group. I learned to control my emotions better and found new ways to deal with problems. Meanwhile, our charity event was approaching. We organized everything to the highest standard and were ready to hold this important event. I knew it was not only important for us, but also for everyone who needed support. Preparing for the event required a lot of effort, but seeing how we worked together towards this goal made me feel it was worth it. We assembled a team of volunteers who helped us with all aspects of the organization. I was amazed at how many people were willing to help. Before the event started, I had a few moments of reflection. I realized that this was not just about charity, but also about the importance of supporting each other. My life had changed thanks to these people and their support. On the day of the event, I felt the pressure of my memories and anxieties, but with my new friends, we managed to pull it off successfully. It was a big day, and I felt we were doing something important. I knew that we could help many veterans and their families. By the end of the day, as I looked at the results of our work, I felt pride and relief. It was just the beginning, but I was ready to continue working on this cause and keep fighting to help others find the support and hope that I had found through my new friends. Through this event, I felt a renewed sense of life and hope for a better future. I knew that despite all the difficulties, I was not alone, and that the support of friends and the support group had helped me find my path again. Part 4. The Climax and Resolution. The charity event we had worked so diligently to organize finally took place. I stood on stage before thousands of people who had come to support our cause. My heart was racing with excitement and gratitude. Every smiling face, every contribution, even the smallest ones, was a testament to the importance of what we were doing. After the event, I learned that we had raised a significant amount of money to support veterans, and it was a huge success. This was a major step not only for those we helped, but also for my own healing. This success gave me renewed strength and confidence. I felt that I had finally found meaning in my life. I usually wasn't fond of being the center of attention, but now I began to see my efforts as something more than just a personal achievement. I received recognition from the community and other veterans, which filled me with pride and inspiration. The feeling of being useful and needed became my greatest achievement. One of the biggest victories, however, was reconciling with my ex-girlfriend. She found the courage to come to me and apologize for what happened in the past. Her words were sincere, and I realized that holding on to resentment no longer made sense. We talked about everything that had happened, and I found the strength to forgive her. It was a difficult but necessary step towards inner peace. The sense of liberation from anger and bitterness allowed me to move forward without the heavy burden of the past. My new path began with the decision to dedicate my life to helping other veterans. I became an active member of several organizations that provide support to those also struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. It was not just about professional duties, but a personal mission to help those in need of the support I had once received. I began organizing meetings and events to help veterans find their way to recovery. I found a new sense of purpose in my life by working for the benefit of others. Over time, I married Maria, who became my reliable support and true partner in life. We are raising 2 wonderful children together, and each day with them brings me joy and gratitude for the opportunity to be a part of their lives. This journey to healing was not easy, but I know that even from the deepest despair, one can find a path to the light. My story is a testament to the fact that effort and support can change lives, even when it seems there is no hope left. I have learned to find peace with myself and accept help from others, and this has allowed me to become who I am today. Friends, thank you for paying attention to my story. Every great thing begins with something small. Feel free to share your thoughts about my life story in the comments below.